A good Sunday evening, and we have a special guest joining in today, a senior person, and it's an honor having him, Mr. Varada Murthy. And he's been a coach, professional coach, for a very long time. You know, a lot of you would have seen a lot of coaches who are emerging now, but he's been there for more than 2 decades in the industry, and helping a lot of people transform their lives and ensure that they get into the right choices of their career, they do things the right way. And he's been passionate about doing this for a long time. He's done this for like thousands of people. I'm not talking about 2,000 or 3,000, but you know, uh, I'm very close to a lakh of students, and so that's the number we are talking about, where he has influenced. He's predominant, very known in this particular industry of coaching and empowering people to take their right steps forward. So more than me talking about it, because he's got a very rich experience, that's the reason we've shared the entire talent history of his achievements, his places where he got recognized and all that in the introduction itself, so that you get a chance to know him well. So friends, honor welcoming Mr. Varada Murthy on this particular platform. Thank you, sir, for joining in. So maybe you can talk about how did you get into this passion, and what's keeping you motivated in coaching and empowering so many people around you.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Ravi. Thank you very much for having me here today in this platform. And I've heard and have had the opportunity to view a couple of videos that you have interviewed in the past. It's an amazing journey that you have started. I mean, it's a very good platform for a lot many passionate people, and of course, young entrepreneurs who are passionate again to showcase what they are doing. Wonderful. I wish you, the best ahead.
Thank you, sir.
One thing I must tell you that before I forget this, when you said about a lack of people, it's not just me. I have to first thank a lot of people, who are with me, including my entire team and a lot of other professionals who had in the past come work with us for projects. And of course, my wife is also spearheading the training division of empowering teachers.
Nice.
So without the support of all these people, I wouldn't have touched those many lives. So that's something that I would like to place it first. So coming back to the passion, when I started my career early on in Bangalore, what now in British Physical Laboratories, BPL. Little did I know about the word passion, to be honest with you, and little did I know about the dream. So I started my career there, and of course, my dream was to become a CA. Somehow I had that interest. So obviously, I couldn't achieve that. So no regrets though. I had to study. I had to study in the evening college when I came to degree because of the business that I had to focus on, family business. So I did my BCom, and then I started my career in British Physical Laboratories for a few years, and then I did my post-graduation diploma in HR, and that's when I started seriously looking at, okay, human resources is something probably I should focus on. And but if you ask me frankly, whatever I'm doing today in the last 10 years has got nothing to do with what I have done, prior to that, about 15 years in the corporate world. Although that is of use to me now, but then little did I know, as I said, that I'm going to end up doing this educational services or empowering, people. So journey started there, and then I had the opportunity to go abroad, and that's where I became seriously a human resources professional, I must say. So this message also is for lots of people who have started their career after 3 4 years. They can still figure out what they really want to do, come out of their whatever that they were doing, and come out and start something that they really are passionate about. Um, so, but I must add something here before I started this educational, venture. It was after about, nearly 15, 16 years of corporate career in the Middle East. So we decided that, okay, we want to go back to India, relocate and settle down here. And not very serious about what to start though, primarily because of children education that we wanted to educate them here. So I went and put my resignation to my boss, and I had a lady boss, and I had three lady bosses during my corporate world. And she was a Jordanian, and she said, "You're resigning. You want to go back to India?" So she asked me, "What do you do in India? What is there in India?" Wow, I said, I should, definitely sit with you to answer what is there in India, though. But and that's where it started. And she narrated a story to me when she asked me, "What do you want to do?" So I always used to see the consultants used to come to. I mean, with due respect to all consultants. So I was one. So I used to see consultants coming and doing a lot of stuff within our company. And then the end of the month they come and give an invoice. So I thought, oh, it's a nice job. Why shouldn't I take up that? Being a consultant. So I said I want to be a consultant. And she smiled at me and she narrated a story to me, and that has actually made me very serious about this. She said, Murthy, once, there were a lot of cows and there were bulls on the other side, and there was a fence in between. And one of the cows, junior cows, wanted to go on the other side. So it went and asked one of the senior cows, you know what, I want to go other side of the fence, play with those bulls for some time, enjoy, have fun, and come back. So the senior cow said, "What stops you? Go ahead." And she said, "I can't go because there is a huge fence there. I can't. How do I go?" So the senior cow said, "Take up steps, what 100 meters back, and then start running from there. You get elevation, so you jump on the other side." I said, "Wow, fantastic! But how do I come back? There's another challenge." And the senior cow said, "Same thing. Go other side, 100 feet. Again, take a run. From there, you get elevation. You jump and come back." And the junior cow was excited, said, "Wow, fantastic. How did you know this?" Yes. That's when the senior cow said, "I was like you, full of energy, excited, energetic, wanted to do a lot of things. So I tried this. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough elevation to jump, so I fell down. And I started nursing from then. I got hurt, started nursing, and slowly people started coming to me and asking for solutions. And one fine day, they called me consultant. So I became a consultant. So the reason for her to tell me this was to kind of discourage me not to go, continue here, work for another 3 years. You can take my positions, and I will become a director. You become a regional head of HR. So I said, no, this is very interesting story. Actually, made me very positive about it. So that's when I realized, oh, failing is not bad. So failing is good. So you need to fail, and that's when you learn a lesson, and then that helps you to become successful. So that's when we got back, and then we started initially a HR consultancy. Then very soon we realized that's not something that I would enjoy. So we started a leadership academy. We started working with teaching community institutions, helping the teaching community and student community, of course. And of course, in between a couple of World Bank funded projects, I think UN funded projects we got through another big organization. But that's when I had the opportunity to train a lot of people. When you said to lack of people, I mean, I think about 40,000 people were in that paramedical services where we trained across Karnataka on two areas. One is on the attitudinal shift, and another one is a managerial capacity building. So that's about a lot chunk. And then, of course, we started our institution. We started working with the teaching community. So as you said, the passion, as I said, little did I know when I was in the corporate world, even that I'm going to end up doing this one day. So if you ask me, in the last 10 years, it's a sheer passion. It's just the passion that what we are doing here. I enjoy thoroughly what I'm doing, and of course, you become more and more passionate when you actually help somebody, and those people come back and start, telling you the success story of, whatever that they have done. And that's when you realize, wow, I could impact a positive change in someone. I could help someone transform. So why not I do this more? So that's when we thought, okay, we started expanding our horizon from one to one. So we have a teachers training institute where we have 6 centers in Bangalore and Mysore, through which we help people who wanting to become teachers or in-service teachers who want to enhance their skills, one, and of course want to also possess the certificate. That's one segment. And then we have other programs called I-led, which is a leadership program for the in-service teachers.
Okay.
Apart from that, we also have other educational services. So one of them recently we have started is the publication department. So we again thought, education should be for life, and that's something that I personally believe in. Education should
Mhm.
be for life. So we have developed a curriculum called Colors. That's for pre-primary, early years children. So we have developed a curriculum and also started publishing books, and that's something that we are doing. And apart from that, looking at the positive feedback from lots and lots of people, yeah, particularly the youth and the teaching community, I personally thought, why not I get certified from certifying higher certifying body
Mhm.
to continue the coaching business, and that's when I did my coaching certification from the ICF. So it's now the what if you ask me what is next, and that's something that I want to take up in a big way. So that's the journey. If you ask me, the purpose and the reason started.
So very few people do that. As I say, very few guests we have, and I've seen very few people who are into this passion of, you know, HR services or, you know, training somebody or teaching somebody. Because everybody, when they get experts, then they try to take the leadership roles and work for a brand. But very few people choose to run their own organization and help others at their own capacity, the best they can do. And teaching and transforming people by coaching them is, I would say, it is priceless. You cannot fix a price to it, because it takes not only your time but a lot of efforts, which customizes, and you're basically molding a person, thinking about him, putting yourself into his shoes and doing stuff. So some of these things are just priceless. And a lot of people just do that, take the coaching, go back to their life. But in some, at some point of time, they realize that what happened then is really working out now. Might not be immediately after the coaching, but they realize somewhere in their lifetime that, yeah, this really helped me out. So a lot of efforts and priceless. I would just say coaching is a priceless job. You cannot really determine what is the cost and efforts that get involved in it. Super. So,
Absolutely,
Vardakaru, we
absolutely.
also have some questions so that we get to know you well. So, are you all set to answer the rapid fire questions?
Hope those are simple questions.
Yeah, very simple. Okay, let's start with this one. What kids movie do you think were very scary when you were a child?
Sorry, come again. I didn't hear properly.
Which kids movie was very scary for you when you were a child?
Kids movie.
Yeah, scary movie. Any scary movie during your childhood?
Uh, Scary movie, if I have to remember, honestly, I don't remember any scary movie though, but other than the movie, something that I probably put it across to you.
Hmm.
We always used to get scared is that, when we were young, say, for example, 6, 7, 8 years, we had a huge family. We had a joint family, and we had about, I think, if I remember, about 12 children in one big house. So, and that's a joint family. So, parents never used to bother compared to what now, so it's all delicate, right? So you can't even allow them, you don't even allow them to, cross roads. But in our time, they never used to bother about us. So the only time they used to see us was after dinner in the, the night when we were sleeping. They used to count that, okay, the number of beds, how many are sleeping? Oh, if he
Well,
is there, oh, he is there. That's the way. So they used to tell a lot of these ghost stories, to put us to sleep, or sometimes when we are naughty. So they used to tell that. So sometimes I used to have in dreams that those ghosts used to come, and something that I remember pretty well, So one of my grandma used to tell that to scare us. So, and that's something that I remember.
good one. And we had these scary movies. I mean, in late 70s or 80s, when the devils were really scary. And I don't know how these guys used to do the graphics those days. I think one of the scary episode, one of the movie I remember is like, the ghosts are like, putting their legs into the fire and burning to prepare food, crazy stuff like that. Very weird. And those things, when you think of a ghost, those scenes used to come into picture. So
Correct.
Yeah, but this is a good experience of getting kids to sleep. I think I should try that as a parent. Try try a scary
No, no, no,
story.
no, no, don't do that. I mean,
Don't.
don't scare them because that's the wrong way of, raising children because they shouldn't. Unfortunately, in today, people get into using gadgets to, feed children. I mean, that's again a wrong method. When we do the parenting, that a lot of mistakes that we did when we were raising our children, we used to use the walkers, for example. So that has its own disadvantages also, which we don't realize at that point of time, which we realize when they grow up and when we see their walking style behind. So we can't even figure out now why did he or she walks like that. Maybe after a close observation and then start recalling what we did probably when that girl or boy was very early, like say 1 year, 1.5 years. We used walkers because we wanted our time there to do something. So we thought, okay, we will put the child there. And a lot of people do that because they want to see their child walking very fast, like a lot of mothers want to see their
Hmm.
children. The moment they're born, they want to see them engineer, doctor, or whatever. Sorry, I mean, that's how it is today. So we have done that as parents. We have done a lot of these mistakes, and we tell them, don't do that. It's okay if they don't walk, if they don't, stand up early. It's okay. Wait, have some patience. They will naturally do that, and that's much better than we forcing them or pushing them to do that. Yeah.
But yeah, I still want to try it once to check, whether they go to sleep. At least they'll have that scare. Nowadays kids are not sleeping because there's no activity, there's no physical activity. Most of the time they are at home. They're not
Yes.
able to go and play because there's corona everywhere. So they're not getting sleep, and they're sitting and watching TV. So let me try once and then let you know. Let them
Right.
also
Right.
remember that starts these scary stories if we don't go to bed early.
Yes, yes. I mean, there is, but during those days, while telling that, they used to also, give a subtle message to us.
Mm,
And that's how these grandmothers and grandparents, I mean, pa used to do that.
true. Yeah, there was a message not to go to certain locations and not to do certain stuffs. Yeah.
Correct, correct. Yes.
Okay, you look like a very calm, composed person as a personality. Okay. So have you thrashed anybody? Have you beaten up anybody during your lifetime?
Good question. I mean, I see that you are more common composed than me. No, I didn't. But then, yes, I was very aggressive when I was young. Particularly when I came to Bangalore for seventh standard. Until seventh standard, I was in my native, which is about 350 kilometers away from Bangalore. And there, I still remember that I was very, very aggressive.
Hmm.
Used to, I mean, always I used to fight for rights, and that's something I think probably naturally came to me because of my father. My father never used to tolerate any wrongdoings, and he always used to fight for it. Or I've seen him doing that. So when he takes up the newspaper while reading the newspaper, he will obviously used to scold a lot of those politicians for 30 minutes. So I was wondering why, and then this is because of that reason. So I always used to stand up for those rights. So if somebody puts us down or somebody abuses us, I used to go and shout at them. But then don't remember trashing except my younger brother.
Okay.
That's right. That was my right.
Yeah. So a lot of people, assume the same thing for me, that I'm very calm and I'm always smiling and all that. Yeah. So my family knows, there were like two parts of it. Ravi is one personality whom, a lot of people see. Shankar is a person whom you really don't want to mess up with. So yeah, I did trash, trash few of the guys. I have beaten up guys, on the road. Yeah, if they're doing something wrong, which is not acceptable, yeah, I generally don't wait. I give it back immediately. So yeah, but things have slowed down, so as you evolve, your age and all
Absolutely.
that,
Once you cross 40,
your perception changes on
it
incidents.
goes. Yes, you become more mature, become more
Mm,
calmer, composed.
yeah.
Yeah, very
So
excellent.
what is the funniest or unique business screw up that you've seen in your career?
Sorry,
Silliest
again?
thing in your career, in your work life, not with the current your own venture, but the 15 years of experience you had earlier.
Yeah.
Anything you see funny or some rules which you really didn't like?
Mm. Well, okay, my wife always tells me that, okay, you started prospering after you married me. So I think, if she's watching this, so I'll give her a credit. See, there are two things I didn't like. Is one is the reason for resignation in two places was mainly because of this. One was I had a boss, excellent boss, where I had a lot of learning from him. So I really grew up there. But unfortunately, he used to smoke a lot, and he used to smoke in his cabin. So
Hmm.
I became a passive smoker in that way.
Yeah.
I never liked it. I never liked it. So I was really always telling myself, no, I want to get out of this place, get out of this place, just for that reason. Otherwise, everything was fantastic there, and I had a very good journey of my professional career there. He used to like me. I used to like him and the work, but for this particular one. Same thing happened when I narrated the story earlier with Jordanian lady boss. So she was a chain smoker again, always with cigars and Red Bull, the drink next to her. That's something I never liked it. Otherwise, of course, every
As
institution
people,
or
they are good, but yeah, I think as managers, they or leaders. I think this is a good message for everybody who are leaders and smokers. That's a personal choice you make. If you're not able to quit, at least think of your subordinates, team members,
absolutely.
respect them, and good point. Uh, so, based on your experience, what is the product which is like wrongly sold in this particular situation right now into the market, which you feel that's not correct?
Wrongly sold.
Yeah, misrepresented product in this current time.
Maybe some COVID medicines which is coming up now. I'm not sure on that though. So a lot of companies want to make quick money, using the current situation, perhaps. Otherwise, I don't see anything in particular to say that only so. There could be many.
So, what is the least amount you have paid for an internet outside on in an internet
Um,
cave?
Sorry,
What is
what?
the amount you have paid for internet in the internet cave?
Sorry, I didn't get you,
Yeah,
Shankar. Sorry.
yeah. Is it okay now? Is the audio okay now? I think there was some
Getting that.
interpretation. You're able to hear now properly?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, we used to browse outside. There was a generation where, internet caves are the only places we had internet. So, what is the least or the maximum
Correct.
amount you spend outside on an internet cave per hour?
Maximum time spent.
Maximum amount spent per hour. There was a rate to browse internet those days.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the maximum amount spent, I think 55 rupees, if I remember. That's the maximum amount I
55
spent.
rupees per hour.
Yes.
Nice.
That's in a place called Davangere where, I had to download certain Excel files and the internet was very slow. So even 30 minutes job actually took 1 hour. So that was maximum amount that I spent.
Yeah. So you still remember the dial tone, before, the dial-up tone which used to come in before connecting to the internet. It was like a fax tone, and then yeah.
Yes. Slow and sometimes, it used to hang for a long time. Yes.
Mm. 8 kbps was a great speed. 8 to 12 kbps was a great speed those days.
Yeah, absolutely.
So next question. So in a workplace,
Yeah.
okay, we generally put nicknames for others, okay, our co-workers, and also have nicknames for our bosses, and some nicknames are put in for ourselves. So did you have a nickname for yourself during your career? Did you name somebody which is quite funny, and used to comfortably call him the same?
We have had, of course, I had a nickname. In fact, before the corporate career, while I'm a sport freak, so we used to play cricket
Mm.
a lot. So, and I used to lead a team for a long time. So my, other teammates used to call me Major. I really don't know. Even today, I can't even figure out the reason why they used to call me Major. So they used to call me Major. So that's something that I still remember. And Ravi was the one who actually coined his name. I still remember his name though. And we used to call him Badne. Badne means, it's brinjal. And he's always chubby, of course, but then, he used to get angry fast. So people used to call him Badne.
Okay.
Otherwise, in the corporate world, we all, we all used to joke, and I still remember, we had a quality head called Harry
Mhm.
Canisters from UK, and he once questioned, see, usually people call you by first name, right? So say Ravi is Ravi, or say my name is Varada Murthy. Either they call me Mr. Murthy or Varada.
Hmm.
So in India, I'm known as Varada, but in the Middle East, that people used to call me Murthy. Perhaps that's because they used to find it easy to call Murthy.
Right.
So Harry is the one who once said that why people are calling you Murthy instead of Varada, because your name is Varada, not Murthy. Murthy is okay. Varada Murthy is surname. So either they should call Mr. Murthy or they should call Varada. So he's the one who fought for that and started calling me Varada. That was really something amazing. I still remember that.
Cool. So, we do a lot of things in our life, and did you get a social angle of doing something which where you could help somebody, help a society or a cause in this particular journey?
Yeah, absolutely. When I got back from Middle East, I still remember it was 2009-10, and that's when I was introduced to Rotary. I'm
Hmm.
sure you've heard about Rotary, Rotary International. So little did I know about Rotary. In fact, all I knew about Rotary was, you see there in a bus stand where Rotary is mentioned, contributed by Rotary, or in a government school or unaided private school where you used to see Rotary boards. I only knew about that. So I was in one of my family relatives introduced me to Rotary and one of the Rotary senior executives. So he called me for a meeting and then I joined Rotary. So joining that is when I really got to know what is a Rotary, what Rotary does and what is this community service is all about. So, and fortunately or unfortunately, I must say now, fortunately, at that point of time, I thought, oh my God, what am I getting into? Because within 2 months from the day I joined Rotary, they pushed me to a president's role because the acting president had quit,
Hmm.
what within a month's time for some family reasons or his, business reasons. So they said, no, you got to take over as a president. I mean, I had no idea. In fact, just learning, few things about Rotary. That was really a challenge. And at the same time, of course, if anybody wants to develop leadership skills, I must say, you work in not work. I mean, join
Join
Rotary,
Rotary Club.
serve there a couple of years, and in fact, they have now Rotaract also, where young children can join and do the service. The college students can join. That was a wonderful platform for us to explore leadership qualities, display leadership qualities, learn at the same time, and of course engage yourself in a social and community services. That was fantastic.
I'm a member of Rotary Club myself, so we have a young club here. It's called Rotary Club of
Excellent.
Siliguri.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, I completely agree with you. And
That was one of the greatest challenges that I had, where I had to also bring the our club up because we didn't have enough numbers. So I think in that particular year we grew about over 300% in the membership.
super. Good, sir. So with all this experience, you've got corporate experience, you've got international exposure, you've got coaching experience, done a lot of transformation coaching, for various schools, corporates, a lot of workshops that you did. So with all this experience, what would you focus on if you become the chief minister? What are the areas?
What would I do if I become a chief minister? Very good question. One, I am not sure, I would fit into that scheme of things. But yes, since you are asking, then I must answer this. Um, One is I believe in transparency and efficiency, two things. And with that, lot many other things would take up. Because the world seeks today excellence, the world also seeks, at the same time, skilled people. So both are extremely important. So that's something that I would always watch for. Have transparency and efficiency. And other important thing that it's something that you probably know, and everybody knows that. When I was a student in second PU, I think when we were studying economics is when I heard about I mean, wealth distribution is not equal. So there is a huge gap between rich and poor. Rich gets richer, poor gets poorer. And that's basically a hindrance to the development of a society, or where you don't see that. So that's something that if I ever had an opportunity, I would like to work on
Getting
how we can help
equal.
to balance that, basically. That's something that it's always there in my mind. Why is that there is no equality there? Okay, so it's like, again, at the same time, 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. What if another 20% of the people also contribute like that 20% of the people? Then you see the efficiency, how well it goes up. So that's something I would love to do, and that's something that even it goes to my coaching also, to help people. I see that people have huge potential. Everyone has huge potential. It's just that many people don't know that, and they don't believe in that, and they don't get into the next 2 3 steps that they need to do to achieve that. And that's something that I would love to do.
Super. Good thoughts, good thought process. I mean, we're really blessed to have you here, because anything to do with people, that's my favorite, and I really appreciate people who are dedicating themselves to get people skilled, change their thought process, putting their thought process into the right direction, show them the right direction, show them the light, because there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of speculation, especially when you're talking about students and younger generation who are looking for a career. They're in a dilemma, and we need people like you, with your experience, who actually shows them the right direction. Let them at least think of choosing what their real passion is. So good to have you here. Mhm.
They may not find passion at that point of time, but at least they need the direction. They need to
Direction.
understand why. See, the key here is to understand the reason, the purpose, why.
Mm.
So if we help them, say, what happens. Do I have time?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Hello? Okay, fine. So when we go to college and start asking questions to youth, for example, say I ask somebody, okay, what's your dream? They might come up saying, I want to become an engineer, I want to become a doctor or a CA or a HR professional. So we ask them the next round of questions. So why do you want to become an engineer? Or
Mm.
say, what engineer? Why do you want to become an engineer? Most of them then, they stop. So they don't have an answer. Maybe it's because of the parental pressure or something, or some next door guy as an engineer who is going on a bike with having goggles and style, and so it inspires them, which is fine. But we don't know whether you fit in there or not. So you want to ask the question like, why you want to do engineering? If you know that, you perhaps do that much better. I would say that anything that you do, whether engineer or a doctor or a CA or a HR professional or an accountant, be an extraordinary in that. That you can be an extraordinary in that, provided you know the reason why you are doing it in the first place. Right. So that why is always very important. I always do that. Ask the question why. So then your how becomes very easy. So
Mm.
this is something that we need to definitely guide them, because passion, as I say, it is it's not by birth, or it doesn't come into you the moment you start a work. It is developed over a period
Eventually, it
of
will.
time. So with understanding comes passion. With passion, you start growing. So they can figure out the passion. They need to, at some point in time, they need to figure out the passion. Yes, that's one area we all need to help these youth, particularly because when we were young, we didn't have much options. So it's
Mm.
easy for us to choose any one career option. But today it's huge. So they are in fact getting confused as to which way to go.
Mm. True.
Yeah.
Good point. So, friends, we have Mr. Varada Murthy who's available. So, you feel free to connect with him. He's on this particular platform, and we'll share the social handles where and the activities he is driving. So, do connect with him, because this episode is all about having great circle of people with inspiring stories, people with passion. So, and he's living the passion for the last 15 years, where he's driving a lot of things which he wanted to do on his own, rather than working for a brand which is on a different direction. So thank you, sir. Thank you for having, taking time and coming to this particular platform. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me here, and I wish you and your team all the very best to get more and more people to this platform and expose them positively. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you, friends. Have a great day.